Chapter 2, 2 p.m, Saturday, January the 23rd. Why would anyone choose to live in London when paradise awaits in the not-so-distant south of France? We were finally released from Flight 109 and walked along the glass corridors through the customs control, douane, and then livraison bagage to collect my suitcase, easily spotted by the large photo of a topless woman taped to the front for the purpose. And finally, the airport foyer to be greeted by palm tree skies, left-hand drive packets of Gauloise, and elegant women talking French. What more could life possibly have to offer? Venus and I went in search of the Avis car rental stand, while the ageing duo received the worst thumbscrews, soft cushion and lukewarm tea treatment that BA had to offer over the criminal offence of tampering with onboard equipment, as if the vicar would have been involved. And while they're there, I have a bone to pick with the aforementioned Avis rental company. The case for the prosecution is this. The vicar had arranged for a hire car to await us, but on discovering the model that he'd chosen, Venus seemed less than happy. A Vauxhall estate car. Surely we're going to have something more exciting. How about one of those? She pointed provocatively to a series of photographs of sports cars headed special offers for me then. The fact that the sign was in English should have been enough to set alarm bells ringing in my head. Not so much offers as rip-offers. Go on, Venus urged me. Ask how much. I'm sure Giles will pay the difference. She put her arm around me and pushed me to the counter, where I found myself asking about a Mercedes coupe. That will cost 80 euros a day more than the car you have ordered, came the reply in perfect English in a sensational French accent. Is it only me that finds the sound of French women talking English impossibly sexy? It's getting so serious that watching LOLO is almost as good as one of those in-hotel pay-per-view movies. Any French girls wishing to indulge a young man's pathetic fantasies can email me at punk@thevicar.com. Let's do it, said Venus, dragging my thoughts away from my groin and back to the subject of sports cars. Yeah, and how exactly are we going to pay for the difference? I remember asking, trying to retain a degree of sanity. Don't you have a credit card? She replied, staring at me wide-eyed. And I found myself pulling the plastic out of my back pocket and asking for our car to be changed to a Mercedes coupe. Brilliant, said Venus, giving me a kiss on the cheek. And don't forget to have me put down as one of the drivers. I can't bear to be a passenger. Now, I have no complaints with Avis over any of this. I'm not complaining that they knowingly display provocative pictures of sports cars, nor that it's unreasonable to employ French girls to work on the stand at a French airport. I'm not even complaining about the way that I found myself paying for a sports car for Venus to drive when I'd understood that I would be doing the driving and she, or at least her husband, would be doing the needful. Did I really look that stupid? I mean, I can remember wondering that, and on balance, I decided that I probably did. No. My complaint over my treatment by Avis relates to what happened after the vicar and Lord Crappenley emerged from their session with the Spanish Inquisition. Venus had rushed to meet them carrying the keys like a trophy of war. Even at a distance of 30 yards, I could tell that all was not well. The vicar's lips were pursed so tight that they almost disappeared, never a good sign. I caught the end of the conversation as he strode towards me. I am sure, Lady Crappenley, that the car I have booked will quite sufficiently suit your needs. I was struck by the almost mocking way in which he spat out the words, Lady Crappenley. Had I been more on the ball, I would have realised there and then that all was not as it seemed. He grabbed the keys from my hand. And now, my dear punk, you will please hand these back to the receptionist and take delivery of the Vauxhall Astra I ordered. If I wish to be seen in a Mercedes coupe, then I would own one, which, as you well know, I do not. He moved towards the door. Giles is in need of a cigarette to calm his nerves after his intensive grilling by MI6. A foul habit, but a sane, if slightly bitter man emitting cancerous fumes is probably better company than a pair of dim-witted pigeons. He escorted Lord Crappenley out through the door. I tried my best to apologise to Venus, but she seemed totally unconcerned. Well, it was worth a try, she said, smiling at me, and for the second time put her arm around me and pushed me towards the counter. Which finally brings me to my complaint against Avis. My 5-minute rental of that bloody Mercedes coupe cost me £100 pardon my French. That's 20 £5 notes, or 50 pints of beer, or 1.3 cheap tricks on the back streets of Soho. And I never so much as set foot in the car. Beware of fine ladies flashing their eyes and sexy-voiced receptionists. They can seriously damage a bank account. But then, I suppose, punksters, we already knew that, didn't we? To cap it all, Venus never even apologised to me. She simply made sure that she was put down as a driver on the Vauxhall Astra. I really do get terribly carsick if I don't drive, she begged. Why don't you sit in the front and we'll put the touring please in the back? Should we go and get them? You will carry my luggage, won't you? You're such a darling. Bless. I could see that nothing in my history had prepared me for the next few days with Venus Crappenley. Or her driving. The engine is so quiet that I can't hear whether it's on or off, she wailed as we stalled our way out of Nice towards the sunny Riviera and the flesh pots of Cannes. Yes, music. That's what I need, she added illogically as Lord Crappenley, figures man, I do the DJing thing best round here, produced a travelling pouch full of CDs. He had reckoned without the lack of a CD player in our budget rental car. Nothing but a radio offering a woeful diet of French music and an aging cassette player, the vicar said. Surprising. I'm sure even Punk here could have told Vauxhall the relative market share of the CD versus the music cassette, could you not, Punk? I'll spare you the conversation that followed. The vicar, of course, knew the exact figures. Vauxhall gives us a cassette machine that, according to recent IFPI figures, only 3.6 of us want, while the CD, which is totally absent from this otherwise fine automobile, boasts 85.3% of the market. The mind boggles. I'm sorry, GC, we will have to travel in silence. Although he wasn't, of course, sorry that is, as was very clear from the blissful way that he whispered the word silence. Of course he was pleased to be spared the Crappenley CD collection, which explains why I felt so wonderfully smug and a smirkful cool dude as I pulled out my portable CD player out of my bag, plugged it into the car stereo with a special cassette adapter and asked Lord Crappenley which CD he would like to play. Unfortunately, the vicar was sitting straight behind me, so I couldn't see the expression on his face, although I hope he saw the big smirk on mine. The scene is therefore set, and it was to the strains of the Waterboys singing The Whole of the Moon, an excellent choice by Lord Crappenley, who went up in my estimations, that we arrived in Cannes at about 3 o'clock on a sunny Saturday afternoon, ready for the delights of Meedem. That boy's not cool. He's got ears the size of a deer face, vocals and a twisted face, with a voice that... Every country and every city has its smell. Tokyo has the smell of soy sauce mingled with the smell of the trains. France is the smell of foul black tobacco, sea air and, you sniff the air, sun-baked dog shit. Look at the stuff. It's everywhere. Check this out. I'm not telling you whose house this is, but I hope her husband doesn't see this blog.